Welcome to this walkthrough of the retail chain rollout strategy model from efinancialmodels.com. The purpose of this model is to simulate the rollout plan of a new retail chain. On one hand, we want to analyze site by site the financial metrics, how much funding is needed, where will be the funds invested, what will be the IRRs and the expected profit on a per site basis. And then second, we want to consolidate all these sites and put an overall business plan together. However, as we cannot do all the sites at one point in time, we need to phase it out. In this model, we have here, we foresee 3 different phases. Some sites will be rolled out in phase 1, other sites in phase 2, and then other sites in phase 3. And then this model can help you to allocate the sites to the specific phases. We can simulate what will happen if we basically buy or rent the required real estate. What are the implications on the required funding amounts, and what are also the implications on all the other financial metrics, for instance, the IRRs or also valuation related metrics. So let me show you the main elements of this model, how this is set up and how this model is worked. It will be just a brief overview. I cannot go in all the detail, but I hope I can give you a solid overview how this model might work and might help you to analyze your next case of a planned rollout. We have basically here several important sheets. The most important sheet is the executive summary sheet. It contains key assumptions, but it also contains basically the results of the overall business plan and the financial metrics of the plan and all the other information which you need to obtain a high level picture on the overall situation. It also contains a list of all the sites you're going to roll out. Here we assume that this is an international retail chain with different locations internationally and so on. Then we have another important sheet, which is the consolidated financial sheet. Here what we do is, for instance, for the revenues, we basically add each of the sites involved, and you can see here some sites that start in year 1, some other sites in year 3, and while others will only start in year 8. This has to do that we start the sites with the 3 different phases, so we can basically say which site should be starting in which phase. The overall consolidated financial statements, we have here the 3-statement model. We have the income statement, balance sheet, the cash flow statements. We calculate all the financial metrics here. We also look at the free cash flows, at the consolidated free cash flows, which this business generates, a unlevered and then also on a levered basis. And we also figure out how much funding is required. In this case, you see here this will basically adds up quite a bit, but as we have a lot of debt financing obtained, we have here also the equity ticket, which is needed to finance this business. Then another sheet is a comparison sheet. This is more like to sum up the uses and sources of funds. We go here site by site. We list what is the required budget. Then we basically, depending if it's consolidated or not in our business, we basically, all which are consolidated will then go into our planned allocations of uses and sources of funds. Now here another sheet, PowerPoint is more to basically summarize some tables. If you want to copy paste this into a PowerPoint presentation, this is rather just the output of the model. What is important then here is that we analyze this retail chain site by site. This means per each site we have here a summary of the financial metrics in terms of the financial feasibility, what can be expected in terms of IRR, how much funding is required, how much equity investment is required, what is expected lifetime profit of this site. these works like this, that some assumptions, they come from the executive summary sheet, some of the general assumptions. And then what we do is we basically put our budget together, what investments are required, how much inventory is required, what are the pre-operating, operating expenses until this business is self-sustaining, what cash reserve is required so that we can get a budget together. Then we see how much debt financing we can obtain, either via mortgage or via additional or other sources of debt, and then the remaining part will need to be financed via equity. In terms of the business plan, what we do here is that we basically simulate the expected revenue per month this site will generate, and then what we have here is a model which basically grows this revenue. In the first 3 years we have a monthly budget, and then after 3 years we basically just work with the yearly budget here, and basically check if work through these figures to see if that the rollout plan is realistic. Some assumptions, they are up they're up here. This is just meant to make it easy, just to focus on quick assumptions to make it work, but in reality you will have to work through all the assumptions here in blue to make sure that your business plan per site makes sense, and then it will give you basically the budget per site, and it will result in a site-specific P&L, so you can figure out how much profit you can make with this site. It will also put forward a pro forma balance sheet and cash flow statement for this site. This was being done for all the sites. The model here contains up to 25 locations. If you need more locations, in principle, what can be done is that you work through the consolidated sheet, and then each of these line items you see you would need to copy one of these site sheets. Then you have number 26, you add it here. You need to adjust the formula so it refers to the sheet number 26. All for other formulas, unless it's not changed, stay the same. And then you can add this up so that the consolidation you can expand and include as many number of sites as you need. That would be the idea of the model. What you also have here is with your site settings, so it means we list each site here. Each site we can either rent or we can buy. So if I change here from buy to rent, you see that then here the metrics, they change, the required funding changes. If we rent, we don't need to buy the property, so the funding amount goes down. We can look at the equity required or the total funding amount, whatever you like. You can also then check the effect on the DCF value and on the project IRR. In this case, you see that, for instance, if we look at San Francisco, we have 13.6% IRR if we buy, and if we rent, we can push it up to 25.2% since no money or less money, basically no money needs to be invested in real estate. Yes, basically here the rest is the rest of the financials per site, and then also the checks to see if the site models, if they works, if there are any errors in it, or also to make sure that there is enough funding. Then what we also need to do is we need to check the overall business plan. Hold on, before we do that, yes, we need to check through the overall business plan. And here in this case we have all the sites included. So what we do here is we work through here the budget, see if that makes sense, and you see here there is we calculate how much equity funding is required. This basically comes from this calculation here, and you can also see that due to the phasing we can actually generate some cash flow starting from here, positive operating cash flows from the business. This can also be used to basically fund the expansions into additional sites later on, and we can include that so that we don't need to fund everything with external financing sources. So what we then do is we basically figure out how much equity is required. This model has different ways to determine the equity amount. Here is just the bare minimum. If you look at the consolidated perspective, we also have another calculation. If we just would just do everything at once, that would be the amount which would need to be financed. And as we do the phasing plan, what we can do is we can also basically do some of these sites instead of in phase 1, we could move them to phase 2 so that we can figure out how this affects our business plan. In terms, one way to look at is the overall revenues, the EBITDA, but then also more importantly, if your goal is to grow as fast as possible, you need to pay attention to how much cash is available to fund the expansion. So this always needs to be positive, and you also want to make sure there is some cash buffer on it. So in this case, what is recommended is to basically, instead of just going with the bare minimum, try to go with a figure of yourselves, and you just add a bit buffer in here. So this means that there is a bit more buffer available if something goes wrong. So you can play basically around with that, and then basically start to move one side from phase 1 to phase 2, or later you can change by to rent. If these phases are too imprecise, what you also can do is that you can simply overwrite the start year here, and then the site will be started in the year which you have chosen. Then you see here in the consolidation schedule, then suddenly the site will start to be consolidated as of year 2020, 2021 instead of this year. That would also be possible. And so this model gives you a lot of flexibility to figure out and optimize your strategy, how and in which order you want to do the rollout. And if you basically have a specific figure in mind how many stores you want to open, that you can basically check if your funding amount allows you to do this. So that's one purpose of the model. Another purpose is that you can also check if you have figured out what's the scenarios, how much funding you need, and then basically work through your investment structure. If you have different investors in mind, that you can simulate here how the equity stakes will look like in terms of cash. Who needs to basically provide the funding? If there's one category of investors like the founders who will not contribute in cash, so the cash needs to come from all the other parties, so that we can then basically see how much investment is required, and then also basically here have a table that we can exactly see how much profit is expected based on this business plan, what's the expected IRR, expected multiples, and this should help you to build a case to convince investors, and also be very transparent how you actually come up with this with these numbers, and how your rollout plan is expected to work. Of course, this is all simulation, and it's all heavily dependent on the assumptions you take. Therefore, it's important to thoroughly work through this model and basically use the best the best possible assumptions as you can find. I think this is basically what I wanted to show you. So yes, I hope this walkthrough was useful, that you understood a bit more how this model is structured, and I hope this video was useful. If yes, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and visit our website efinancialmodels.com. A link to the model I will include in the description below. Thank you for watching.